Here we are back again at the Rainbow Six North American League. Doa Cookies, Jacob here with you on the desk, and we're about to go in to our final map of the day. Yes, I know, it seems like it's gone so quickly, but here we are almost to the end. But it should be a good one. It's going to be DarkZero versus Beastcoast, and the thing is DarkZero did well against Mirage. What's that grin all about? DarkZero did well against Mirage, and Beastcoast beat Parabellum. But we were talking about this a little bit during the break. It feels like this Beastcoast team is not a team that DarkZero can afford to underestimate. This one might be a little bit closer than people expect.
When we talk about DarkZero sometimes losing to lower tier teams in the North American League, this Beastcoast team is, I think, one that has the chance to upset. This might be exactly what we were talking about. Other than a really good showing against a Parabellum team that bounced back today, somewhere along the way, I kind of feel like DarkZero could trip over themselves a little bit, and Beastcoast could be right there to snag a win. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but that possibility definitely exists right now.
I mean, DarkZero looked clean yesterday, though, didn't they?
Well, they look squeaky clean, you know, maybe missed a spot or something.
Maybe.
But DarkZero, you know, and Drip. Drip has 2 career NAL wins.
2?
One of them is DarkZero, the other is Beastcoast. Excuse me, not Beastcoast. It's, DarkZero and, who's the Parabellum? Why did I just confuse Parabellum and Beastcoast? That's, ooh.
I don't know. Maybe there's something like subliminal or subconscious going on there. It's hard to say sometimes.
I'm sorry, y'all. I have a speech impediment sometimes. Forgive me.
It happens. Well, let's check out some of the... Oh, we got a maps, actually. I think we have the maps already.
Do we have that already?
I believe we do. Let's find out where we're going to play. We're jumping right into it.
All right, then.
No theme park.
Back here for the last time this week. And the new map's off the board first. So I think, again, there's still something to be said for the way the Beastcoast banned, because they might still want a similar coaching philosophy to what they had from before, but they only played 3 maps over the course of Stage 3, Bank, Chalet, and Cafe, and already Cafe is no longer there. They decided they do not want DarkZero to have the chance to go back to it. I'd say DarkZero's best maps definitely have been Cafe and Coastline and Chalet, so ensuring that those are off the board is definitely Beastcoast's priority, and they have already taken 2 from DZ, which means we're down to a very limited set of options, no borders, so we will see no more new map for the rest of this week. We're down to only a couple of options. We have Bank up on the board still, and we've got Villa with Clubhouse removed, and I do think removing Clubhouse is probably a good call here from Beastcoast, even though it could still be classified as a crutch map. So it's Bank or it's Villa. So will today be only Bank and Chalet? No, we will finally see Villa play. This will be its NAL debut for this year, and contrary to popular belief, this actually isn't a fantastic map for DarkZero. The one time they won it was against TSM at the 6th Invitational in the series where they defeated them 2-1. As for Beastcoast, they've not played this map in like half a year. Like, it's been an insane amount of time since they've played Villa. Obviously, since the org has played Villa. This team hasn't been together for long enough to have that stat. So.
Jacob.
Yeah.
You are the North American League analyst that is tenured here.
Yes.
Didn't Beastcoast beat... well, this was the old Beastcoast, but wasn't that when they beat TSM? Or am I tripping?
So Stage 1, the very first week, I do remember that. Yeah, Beastcoast defeated TSM because Beastcoast were kind of running into the building and doing crazy stuff, and the only thing that we'd seen from them, that was the old, like, bruh team from back in CL. So, yeah, they do have a history on Villa, but, again, it's been a long time. They didn't even play it in Stage 3 of last year, so it's, well, you have to dig a pretty far way back to figure out the last time the old Beastcoast team played Villa.
Can I give you another reach here?
Sure.
I'm going to reference FPL Queens again because that's, like you said, Beastcoast has changed a lot. One thing that's, I guess, stable is that those 2 players, Slash and Drip, come from FPL Queens, and FPL Queens had an epic victory against none other than Astralis on Villa. Hold on, wait. Astralis' Villa is actually pretty bad, but for some reason I thought it was good. I'm copying off of Jacob's laptop here.
Well, it happened.
I got the stats. Yeah.
It happened,
but it's possible. Bad Villa team, Slash and Drip.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe to an extent, sure, but it's like. The brand new Beastcoast roster, I know we'll dive more into it right now, but still.
Yeah, well, we got to dive into these teams on an individual level, too. Let's check out DarkZero first. Now, this is a team that won handily against Mirage yesterday. I guess you could say that a little bit. You know, I think a Canadian and the rest of the squad had a pretty squeaky clean, like Cookies described it, showing. But, again, this Beastcoast team could present a challenge. It could be crazy, but what assets do you think DarkZero has coming into this one that are going to help them the most against their opponents?
Tenacious, talented players, which might just be enough to match up with Beastcoast's new tenacious players. You know, Sweater versus NJR or something like. I mean, that's going to be some crazy matchups. I guess DZ. I mean, here's the thing. This is part of the whole storyline. The leadership on Beastcoast probably thinks that they're better than Canadian. They think Canadian is a fraud, and they think
everybody says it.
They think that they can outthink Canadian and his team of young gunners. This is kind of interesting, to say the least.
Yeah, based on the posturing we've seen on Twitter and in podcasts over the past couple of weeks, whoever ends up losing this game, I think there will be a bit of an embarrassment factor, like the idea that you weren't able to get over this guy who you've been, you know, very negative on the opposite side of the board across the internet. You definitely want to win this game, if only for that. I think DarkZero are definitely advantages in the way that they decide to try to clear roamers out of positions. That was something Panbo was doing. He was finding frags across the board yesterday, but he was getting everyone on his team to pinch guys out of spots. That was what they did against Mirage, like that hallway hole with Clash. There were plenty of shields and utility that they were able to displace. It was great stuff from DarkZero against Mirage yesterday.
Well, let's talk a little bit about Pamazu and kind of the impact that he's going to need to have in this series to really kind of make something happen against Beastcoast. We're going to take a look at some of his stats here, but Cookies, take me through this. Like, what can they rely on Pamba for here?
They can rely on Pamba to get aces and 4Ks. That was 9 of his 12 kills. If you know, can do.
It's impressive
math,
stuff.
You know.
Yeah.
I'm not a math major, y'all. That was a lot of his kills there. He came, like, we talked about the Clash round on CO. He just literally threw some Selmas, ran in with one of the best guns in the game, AK-12, and just iced everybody. He has Finka's gun out, Finka LMG running in.
Yeah.
Doing whatever. Pamba, it's Pamba party time, essentially, to start this stage. Can he keep it up against a Beastcoast team that undeniably has some firepower on it? You know, you've got Sweater, you've got Surfy Poo, you've got, I mean, there's a lot of shooters.
I'd say Pam is a pretty good counter for that, for sure. I mean, we're not even talking about NJR on the opposite side too, and then when Hyper is able to kind of get into his own groove, if he's like, you know, not like third entry, but definitely flank watch, he'll always be playing frag operators. That's just where he excels the most. So you've got a lot of support and backup for Pambazu, even if he's the one finding the frags. There's a reason why he is, because the rest of his team is really enabling him to be in that position all the time. It's
going to need to be a team effort. It's always that combination, right, of like team play, but then you're going to need to have those standout individuals as well. And let's talk about some perhaps other standout individuals over on Beastcoast. They're going to be the other team, obviously, in this match coming in. And they did get that win over Parabellum. Was that actually our closest map so far this week? I think it may have been.
I think that's the only one that went the full 12.
7-5. Yeah, that's right. It was a 7-5. I think it was the only one that went that far. You know, so there are certainly some signs of life, some signs of excitement coming out of this squad here. But Cookies, do you think they honestly have what it takes to take out DarkZero? I guess I'm kind of asking you to spoil your prediction a little bit, but just let me know.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Never mind. That's all we need. That's all we need. No, I'm just kidding.
Like,
Go into more.
Honestly, I think DarkZero is one of my favorite AL teams. If I'm allowed to show bias on a desk, am I?
I mean,
as an
just
analyst,
did. It's too late.
That just makes it more fun.
Can we discard delay? What I just said. Anyway, I like DarkZero. I'm a fan of all the players because DarkZero went with clearly like a youthful direction. Right? They picked up the NJRs, the Pandas, young, unproven players, made them proven, right? And that's kind of what Beastcoast is doing as well, though. I would say DarkZero is just that much deeper, you know?
DarkZero kind of lucked out and played the long game, right?
Yeah.
Beastcoast still have a lot of players who haven't been able to find individual success before. Like, in spite of Drip's longevity, he's still looking for, like, a way to establish himself. Surf hasn't been in this position, neither is Sweater, because they've just kind of gotten called up. Anthony's been looking for a good team for a while. Arguably, I do like this team already. It's not just because they won. I like this Beastcoast team on paper a little bit more so than I liked the old Beastcoast roster, because that unpredictability factor persists no matter in what situation they find themselves in. So I do agree on the youth thing. I wonder how much they'll be able to rely on that, because they do have Slashlock as a rock, you know.
Yeah. It's kind of like if Beastcoast, or if DarkZero rather, are kind of like the Roman centurions in the army, like all very like clean formations, like everything is in order, every feather in the cap is in exactly the right place. Beastcoast kind of strikes me as kind of like the extras from Mad Max, where it's like witness me, and you know, there's a big threat in that too.
Yeah.
But it's a little bit more chaotic, right?
That's so funny. I yelled witness me Speaking of Canadian, I clutched like one map against Canadian a couple years ago, and that was my one map in pro play that I actually won. I swear to God.
Nice.
And you know what I said? I actually screamed "Witness me" when I won that round. It was pretty funny.
That's a great thing to yell.
It's
like,
pretty-
yeah, if
I'm
you're gonna
so
pick,
glad you said.
it's better. People overuse "Let's go," so I respect.
Yeah,
that you-
I literally said "Witness me." Like that's so random. But Beastcoast. I mean, dude, the problem is, yeah, Slash. He's a rock, but he may also have rocks in his boots. You know, he's playing against some. He's playing against Pam and Ninja. Is he gonna be able to get a kill against these guys? He played against Parabellum yesterday. Parabellum. I mean, I know what Drip said.
Slash was playing Zoph yesterday, remember? Yeah.
I know what Drip said, but I feel like Parabellum maybe was a little nervous. Maybe they were, palms are sweaty, knees are heavy in their first game.
Mom
There you go.
spaghetti. Yeah, it's true.
And Surf popped off against guys he had played against all of last year, but
Right.
this is a different story. This is DarkZero. This is, I mean, I'm not slandering PB here, but this is an established pro team in comparison to Parabellum, so
True.
that definitely comes
Well,
into
let's talk Surf stats then. You mentioned him a moment ago. Surf, obviously somebody that they're going to need to pop off a little bit today if they want to have a chance to take down DarkZero. Do the numbers from the first map support the possible pop-off? Certainly seems like you got a lot of kills.
You got a lot of kills.
There were two people who had 16 kills yesterday. One of them was iconic and he won MVP, and the other one was this guy.
There you go.
There's already enough like proof in the pudding just there. I love the fact that somebody was able to come in literally on their first time at a pro stage like this and have a performance like that. He technically had a better rating overall than Newers did, and both of them were fantastic. Like I think that there was like 3 kills separating the two of them, but I love the fact that Surf wasn't hindered by the first time LAN experience, and I do think he was enabled to do that by what the rest of his team was doing. Like we didn't see Slashhog and Sweater necessarily lighting up the scoreboard, but the two of them still like gave space to him to be able to do what he does best. And right now, given the aggregate of everybody after having 2 games played, aside from Beastcoast and DarkZero, obviously, Surf now becomes the highest rated player in the league. At least for a moment. He still has like one more game left to play, so it's not technically, it doesn't count nearly as much as it should. But Surf had a 1.56, which is incredible for an NAL debut overall, and the only thing I question is like quality of opponent. There's a difference between playing Parabellum and DZ. DZ have been doing this for a lot longer, so I wonder if Surf can do the same thing twice in a row.
DZ ain't gonna be nervous. DZ ain't gonna be missing default cams. Like, I think
Very true.
maybe, like I said, PB is tripping, but DZ ain't gonna start out like that. It's totally different ball game. So Beastcoast knows that.
Yeah.
For sure.
Fair enough. Well, Surf, you know, he also has the name of a very effective Pokemon move, and he has a name that fits in perfectly with Beastcoast logo. So quite a good pickup, you know, if you look at it from
They didn't
that,
just pick him up for the
whoa, I
branding,
realized
but
that.
yeah.
That's true. He fits in quite nicely. Yeah, that's right. Well, you know what else has gone quite nicely? The predictions for the coin. But that's not the only predictions we want to talk about today. Of course not. We've got analysts, we've got casters. Let's actually see who's casting this one, get their predictions for how this one is going to go. Pengu, Jonah, what are you thinking for this one? Are you going to go DarkZero? Is it that easy of a pick, or is there more to it?
I think there's a little bit more to it, Nick. I want to go to you first on this one. Talk to me a little bit about who you think is going to win this one, but more so in comparison to these other games.
All right, so when we saw Beast Coast game against Parabellum, it was all about the opening kills, and when Beast Coast managed to get them, it looked better for them. But DarkZero, very structured team. We saw it against Mirage. We'll probably see it again here today. Will they be giving up those opening kills to Beast Coast? I don't think so. And when Beast Coast can't find the openings, they tend to just rush or do something crazy aggressive. And again, I think DarkZero's experience will shut that down. So therefore, with my heart, with my brain, I gotta put my money on DarkZero.
All right, I think that's fair, and I'm going to go the same way. I do think DarkZero are going to win this, but I think this one has a chance of being pretty close. There were 2 games today that I thought, you know, these could definitely go to overtime. This one and the OXG Astralis game really were the ones that, like, this one could go all the way. We might see some 1 point or 2 points being distributed to some teams. I do think DZ are going to take this one, but I think based on the BC we saw yesterday, I know Drip's got a massive chip on his shoulder. He really wants this one. I think that they could take this one and make this a pretty close fight. I do think DZ have the edge, though.
Certainly seems possible. And you know, hey, props to you, Pengu, too, for bringing the percentage back a little bit today. You've done well.
Thank you.
You've done well.
I mean,
Bringing it all the way back to 33 so far. I mean,
Yeah,
like, that's...
I'm
from zero-
halfway to catch up to Will, but the issue is, or Jonah, but the issue is, he keeps predicting the team that I am, so like I can't really catch up fully, and it's kind of cheating, to be honest.
I can just keep picking
Exactly.
the exact same
Yeah.
team for the remainder of the season. I'll be fine.
Literally my strategy against Jesse to win this laptop. Like that was how we did that.
There you go.
Wow.
There you go. All right. Well, we'll catch back up with the casters in a moment. Now it's time to get the predictions from our 2 analysts. We're going to go over to you, Jacob. What do you think?
I sticking with DarkZero is the safe bet, but the
right.
safety in this case is a very murky topic playing against this Beast Coast roster, I feel like. if they were to win this game, the implications for the future are huge. I don't think it's going to happen, but I am excited for a future in which Beastcoast continue to excel in a league that so far has been one-sided in the games that have been played thus far. So I'm kind of rooting against my own prediction in a way, but
okay.
I'll still stick with my gut.
All right, so Beastcoast for Jacob, a tentative.
No.
Oh, I'm sorry, I'm DarkZero for Jacob.
But I'm rooting against it.
A tentative one. Okay, yeah, you're just confusing me. All right.
Yeah. What do you mean? Like, there's a difference between my heart and my brain. My brain says DarkZero, but the team I want to win might not be the same.
It's just like Christina Aguilera said. His body's saying "Let's go" as hard as saying "No." It's very obvious.
Literally,
like anyone
every
who's into
time the
R&B in the late
Patriots were
90s
in the
knows
Super
this.
Bowl, I would say the Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl, but I'd always root for the other team to win.
I prefer my Christina Aguilera, perspective on it. But anyway, let's get your perspective on it, Cookies.
Well, in that case, Jacob, my heart says DarkZero. My brain also says.
You always
Let's go.
Like
okay.
you're gonna flip and then you know.
So the final prediction of the day from Cookies goes to DarkZero. That means we've only got the coin left. Throwing down the cards. It's time to flip it. Of course, because there you go. You don't need those anymore. Laptop is closed. DarkZero will be heads. Of course, we've got Beastcoast as tails as per the graphic. Let's flip it. Oh my goodness. It's tails. The coin says tails. It's been right all day.
We get to catch up with the
been
coin now
right
because
all day,
the coin's
but
wrong. Let's go.
Look at that. The eagle says Beastcoast, the screaming aggression of the eagle. Perhaps mirroring the screaming aggression of the Beastcoast players. So something to mull over as we look at our poll and see what you at home have to mull over as well. It's going to be who has a better influence on his teammates, Canadian or Drip? This doesn't seem like a hard one.
Am I allowed?
I'm going to be honest.
Well, I mean, you know what I'm referencing. Am I allowed to talk about the place that Drip took Sweater to in Vegas and talked about being a good influence?
I need you to talk about it right now.
Am I allowed to say that? I think I'll leave that to the imagination for right now.
I think we should probably
if we're
leave
talking
that
about
one
good
go.
influence.
I'm not going to say it, but he took him somewhere very mature.
Okay, well, we'll assume that's going to be a racetrack, because you got to be at least 16 to drive a car.
21 to drive on a racetrack.
Exactly.
22 to rent a car.
That sounds like a really fun day. Anyway, on that note, we're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, the action gets started on the map. Don't go anywhere. DarkZero versus Beastcoast. That was hard to say for a second. Beastcoast coming at you in just a few.
Well, here we go. We've got our final match of the day, our final match of the week, and it saddens me to say potentially our final match casting together.
I know, so for the viewers that don't know, Parker, aka Intero, could not make it this week due to some visa complications, but Jonah, you've been stepping in at a very short notice, Cookies as well. I want to thank you both for being here, for just dwelling, molding with the team, being super kind, and doing a fantastic job on top of that, with very high expectations, of course. So,
thanks, man.
Thank you both.
Thank you. Well, it's been a pleasure to cast with you, and let's end it with a banger. Let's end it with a fantastic final match, which could be what I predicted earlier, a pretty close one, potentially into overtime. At least I hope so. We've got DarkZero, we've got Beastcoast, and what we could have is a battle on our hands, Nick. We've got on one side DarkZero, the team that you see in front of you, the team that Canadian has tried to revitalize over the break between Stage 3 of 2021 and coming into 2022. He's got the same core roster, but he's got a newfound sense of purpose.
You know, and 2021 was really the testing ground for DarkZero because, as you said, Canadian joined, they tried a bunch of different roles, and none of it really made sense or worked necessarily on paper, and then slowly, slow upswing in performance of placements, and then now keeping that same trend for 2022, and they have only had one game so far, and it was against Mirage, who's a new team. You see a flex on screen there. But they had a very...
Oh, baby.
Oh,
he's ready to go!
Oh, he's ready!
Look at that! He's ready! He's got his sights set on Canadian.
He does.
I mean, he is ready to go. And this is the thing with Beastcoast is that you got Drip at the center of this roster.
Yep.
He's beginning this ridiculous villain arc, and he wants to take down the old man. What I have written down in my notes is Drip now sets his sights on old man Troy. He wants to take down Canadian. To do so on day 2, to do so on week 1 would be a heck of a way for this fresh roster to start the season.
It absolutely would, and not just that, but Beastcoast already showing now that they have, I want to say deep map pool because, it's a second map, but they're willing to play Villa, which no other team has played so far in the NL of this year. Same for DarkZero. It's not a great map for them. Jacob and Cookies kind of spoke about that on the analyst desk, but both teams have now agreed mutually that this is the map where things will go down. As you said, Drip has something out for Canadian, and Canadian has to prove himself that he is indeed the bigger person, bigger leader, and bigger impactor for his team.
Well, heading to Villa, like you said, a scary map, I think, for the Beastcoast style of play we saw yesterday, and especially favoring DarkZero, a team that likes to play a good old-fashioned siege. A team that will set up and execute for 2.5 minutes and will go 3-2-1, and they will push into that bomb site and decimate any defensive team in their path. They will be starting out on the defensive side, so we'll have to wait a little bit longer to see how they shape up on the attack, but Villa defense, that is where they will begin. The operator bans first, of course. The Thatcher and the Flores taken off the board, though, so it does not look like we're going to see any more of that operator ban creativity on the attacking side for this week.
No, and it makes sense because, Thatcher, as we always talk about, it's just annoying to have open. Flores, phenomenal operator on the side of Villa with all that utility that you gotta clear, the shields, the ADSs, Womitis, etc., and those key positions on the defensive side of things. Mira, again, a stable, normal, some would say boring operator to be banned, and Valkyrie will follow troop as well. So the absolute most vanilla situation of a operator banning phase so far for both teams, and they agree that we're gonna have a quote-unquote classic style of Villa. Neither team really knows what to expect, in terms of target bans. So that's what we're going to see here going forward, a classic style. Yeah, maybe classic, but operator or attacker repick is always something spicy, and that will take what could be a classic map and turn it into something unpredictable, but we'll have to wait a little bit longer to see exactly if that comes to reality. One more thing to point out, I know I've talked about the power of the Valkyrie before, but even more so on a map like Villa, where attacking teams are working their way in across this map, generally clearing from one side of that top floor to the other. Banning the Valkyrie is a very smart decision because pretty much as you walk your way across the map, almost everything you touch is a soft floor. A pre-placed C4 can pretty much end the hope of any attacking team as they work their way into the building. So DarkZero don't want to deal with that, nor do they want to have that advantage on their side of things either. As I said, starting out on the defense. They'll begin things over on the Aviator in-game site on this south side of the top floor to start out the match. And the great thing about today is that we've seen quite a lot of Chalet, and Villa and Chalet kind of go hand in hand in how you play the map. And you see it right now on your screen. It's an AVG defense, but you extend over towards that master bedroom trophy statue bomb site because you need to extend out as a defender and slow down the attackers, contest them on the ground, and Eclipse actually showing us some more Thorn action. It was Iconic who played it first on Skyscraper earlier yesterday, rather, in their game. in their debut, and now it's Eclipse's turn to show this operator's powerfulness as well.
Yeah, using those Razor Bloom grenades on an extension like this, I suppose putting them near those entry points, right at that master door, for example, right when those attackers push their way in, right when they cross that threshold, that moment of no return, those grenades could force the attackers even further into your line of sight and allow you to get those kills. I suspect that is what Eclipse is hoping for, as he and Hyper over on the trophy side of things will be holding down this extension as the round begins. But Beastcoast, they're not wasting any time to push their way into this extension. You've got Sweater on the Finca already challenging these players, trying to establish that angle all the way through 90. You do have some support here from Surf, who's working his way through the bathroom. He'll be challenged, though, by Canadian on these Astro stairs, and neither player hitting their shots initially, but Surf prevails. Drip and Sweater will follow things up, and an explosive start for Beastcoast.
Very explosive and also very messy. Troy, I believe, wished like most of his magazine, unfortunately, and didn't get the kill that seemed to be so free, but got shut down indeed. Now it's NGR and Pambasu gonna have to clutch this out together, 2 versus 5. And Beastcoast, when they played against Parabellum Border, they thrived when they got the opening kills, when their opponent swung into their guns. And that's what DC did, and it did not work. And that's kind of where Beastcoast gets very scary, because they got the power and they got the aggression to really push through when they get the advantage.
Well, things for DZ are already looking perilous, as NJR is now the last player standing. He'll take care of Slash, but he needs to find a couple of more. Good shot there onto Surf. Okay, making something happen, but he still has to find 3 more. The attacking team still has a minute to work with, a lot of utility, still 4 drones in pocket. Pretty much anything they want to do, it is within their power to get it done. NJR hoping to go unnoticed and maybe catch a couple more of these 1v1s, but he'll get spotted out as he swings over by the red stairs, and Sweater will finish him off, take things down, and Beastcoast will kick off with a win.
So the fun thing is that I think Beastcoast's weakness is... I mean, that's some good vibes right there in the comms. I think Beastcoast's weakness is honestly when it comes down to their execution and problem solving. And you know, when they arrived at the master bedroom area of the map, the triple wall in front of them towards statue was reinforced, and there's a kite claw blocking off the possibility of a breach. And Beastcoast did not really manage to problem solve that situation, but they did manage to find 3 kills very quickly. And my question basically is this: if DarkZero can play passive enough to, yes, still hold the ground and contest and slow down Beastcoast, but not surrender early kills or free kills for them, do they have a way to break through the walls and break through the problem-solving area of the game? Because that's where their weaknesses were against Parabellum. So DarkZero, while they do want to keep up the aggression, I don't think they should challenge too hard into Beastcoast, because I think arguably Beastcoast is more favored in those 1v1 gunplay fights.
Yeah, that's fair. They've got a lot of gunpowder on this new roster. They've got a lot of that aggressive tendencies, like you've said, Nick. So yeah, going into that strategy for DarkZero may be more of a gamble than something they actually want to do on a regular basis, at least. They will do a little bit of a roam, maybe not as much of an extension than last time. Of course, a vertical extension is pretty typical on this kitchen and dining first floor bomb site, but a horizontal one on this top floor, right? You've got Hyper in play, isn't too atypical either. Likely we're going to see him shoot a couple of drones and start to fall back and not overstay his welcome, but you never know. We've seen these DarkZero players get aggressive over the last play day, and we've seen Panba really heat up when going into that kind of playstyle mode.
Yeah, when Panba shows up, it's party time. That's what the saying is. And BC right now working their way through the map on the study side. Sweater on the entry, Drip actually droning for him, and Slash droning as well outside that 90 window. And this basically means that BC will do a full-on map control clear. They'll have to work their way towards top red where Sweater currently is, get all their people up, you know, leapfrog the drone so everybody can get together, and then they gotta start attacking the actual extension from DarkZero. That's gonna be in this trophy statue master bedroom position, and of course the bomb site inside of kitchen dining. So right now we're in that stage 2 of the round. We're setting up their flank drones, taking map control, and then we can talk about, you know, if you're Slash from Beastcoast, the IGL say, alright guys, what does the setup look like? Where are we going to attack? Who do we need in which position to make this work? And right now it's a master bedroom rotation to try and help take that top floor control by the looks of it from Surf.
Right, if you got Slash in play on that buck, using that skeleton key, his main priority is going to be getting that floor open, using that soft destruction to force those defenders to relocate. Right now, he's on the upside down rappel, trying to spot out a couple of these defensive players as they move around. Hyper is one of them, trying to sneak by the watchful eye of Beastcoast. trying to remain unnoticed just by that boar window. He's not going to get challenged yet because Beast Coast, they might be looking to get a little bit of a pivot going. We don't see anybody entering that top floor anymore. In fact, Surf is upstairs, but the rest of the team is working their way down below. That's going to cost Slash his life, however, as Eclipse will take that gunfight and win it. Surf, the last player upstairs, the other three focused on the site.
And yeah, Beastcoast, they started on study side, and now they've all left that area. Then they took somewhat of master bedroom control, but then most of them left as well. They're inside of laundry now, so they've spent so much time, but they've gained so little. And Beastcoast doesn't really have a foot in this map besides a single player that's inside the building, and while Eclipse keeps finding free kills. Yeah, Eclipse is just racking up the kills right now. I imagine he'll work his way back to site shortly because Canadian is starting to get pressured by both Anthony and Sweater as they look to make a move. I imagine Drip is trying to continue his kill streak as he's found one, and he'll look to get a second as he works his way in this round because he's going to need it. He's going to need that to bring Beast Coast back in this round and return their hope if he wants to get this one done. But Canadian shutting down Anthony is going to make this one even harder for them to make something happen. There he goes. He will collect the kill onto Panba, who's yet to find a kill so far. But with 5 seconds left, Beast Coast just have to sprint on in and is not looking good for them. Eclipse takes down Drip, and Sweater is finished off in due time. And just like that, DarkZero will tie us up at 1. That they will. This is exactly what I was mentioning earlier. It's like, what if DarkZero doesn't surrender the kills for free? What does Beast Coast do? And it's like, again, they're problem solving. They didn't really take top floor control ever. They didn't contest the extension. They didn't really get away into the bomb side. And then they lost 2 players without challenging or trading back at all. And then DarkZero were laughing because they had master bedroom control. They had the hatch control inside of laundry. And they still had the entirety of the bomb side safe and sound from NGR and Canadian. So they really didn't have any way to lose that round. And that's the thing. Beast Coast, they need to try and find a way to break out the rounds when they don't get the advantage as well, because otherwise your attacking rounds will be difficult against the more quote-unquote strategical or passive team as DarkZero. Well, Hyper will be bringing out the Warden, and that's something we can talk about for a little bit, because the Warden pick is something that is going to be a lot harder to get right now that repick is a thing and there's no longer that reveal phase. This is something we talked about off-broadcast earlier, but when you have the Ying revealed during that reveal phase in our old meta before repick was introduced, the defensive team could say, you know what, time to 6-pick to the Warden, let's bring him out just to be safe. But now the attacking team can bring out that Ying whenever they want. They can adjust whenever they see that Warden. They can just 6 off it, and they can change up their strategy around it. So it looks like Hyper will be taking that gamble and bringing out a deployable shield. It's not too big of a deal if there's no Ying and there's no direct utility that he can counter, because after all, a deployable shield is a valuable piece of utility to have. It is. It's almost like Warden now acts like a fail-safe mechanic where, okay, in case they bring the Ying, or that was their intention, we're going to bring the Warden. And if they don't, as you said, we got a deployable shield, we got the MPX weapon, or shotgun if that's what you want, and you can still be a fully functional operator. And I mean, Surf did go from Sledge onto Twitch. Twitch did bring the 2 smoke grenades, so at the very, very least, Hyper can see through those 2 smoke grenades from Surf and then get a little bit of value out of the gadget. But of course, that's not the primary reason as to why you pick it. That's typically for the flashbangs, and Hyper holding on. Again, not contesting too much. As I said, the pre-fire does come through. NDR taking some damage while Canadian roams down below. Opening kill goes in the side of Beast Coast. It's Sweater inside the master bedroom, finding Eclipse, taking him off the board. That's Melusi on the ground, but the gadget lives on in those pesky banshees that have been put down in the prep phase. Canadian looking to get this man count back. Maybe looking to rip the C4 and toss it towards the ceiling above him. But right now, no Beast Coast attacker is exactly on the mark he's looking for. Sweater, though, he's working his way towards that position. The soft floor where he could find himself in dire straits. Canadian likely launching that one up and making a quick escape, but no, keeping the nitro cell in pocket for now. Saving that utility possibly for the plant denial. Only 1 C4 in pocket after all. You combine that with the smokes that NJR is wielding, and it's possible you're going to want to save those a little bit later. But right now, he is below, all the way in the basement, trying to work his way back to the site because Beast Coast now have full control of the north side of this top floor. I think that's a very good point, because Canadian could have tossed that C4, and most likely killed Sweater, but that doesn't really grant you anything if you don't have a C4 later on to deny the plant. So Canadian sticking around on this basement red stairs with the C4 in his pocket, it gives DarkZero the opportunity of a win condition that is denying the plant, not just from the toxic base from NGR, but Hyper finds himself killed by Surf on that F2, and now DarkZero, they have to get a kill somewhere to somewhat even back the man count.
Yeah, Hyper was just kind of lying on the floor, droned out by the Yana clone, and then Beastcoast made the call, just swing in and take him down. Slash collects NJR, and Surf finishes off Panba, and just like that, Canadian, who rotated back to the site, is only there a little bit too late. Anthony's the one to finish him off, but a flawless round from Beastcoast, and another round where Beastcoast started off with the opening pick, and they just do not let up on the gas since that moment.
Yep, it's again, opening pick from Sweater, and since then it was full pedal to the metal, and honestly, such a casual, flawless round, just like 1v1s, v1v1s, just go in their favor each and every single time. And it was unfortunate that Hyper got kind of caught off guard because Iana droned him from the study side of things. His back was turned towards it. When he went off the prone key, he was caught basically mid-sprint. Gun wasn't out, and Surf got an easy kill there. And now DarkZero are opting to change the bomb site again and go to that trophy bomb site instead, as AVG hasn't really worked out in their favor yet. They're saying, you know what? Let's not go back there just yet.
Yeah, they tried it twice, failed it twice. Beastcoast seemed to have that site handled just fine, so changing it up by heading over to Trophy and Statuary. But this site operates very similarly to its sister bomb site of Aviator in games, right? The attacking team will often play it almost a mirror image in terms of where they make their entry and how they work their way across the top floor. Instead of working your way in on the master side, clearing through 90, you start your way on the study side, the Aviator in game side. Then you clear through 90, then you try to approach the site. We could see teams go a little bit more direct. You just hop into master, you open up that triple wall as soon as you can, and based on these Beast Coast spawns actually, at least from Anthony, we may be seeing something in that vein.
Certainly, and this is like kind of where the IGL leadership comes into play, right? Because it's one of those situations of what would you like to do? There's no right or wrong answer, really. It comes down to preference and playstyle. It is that extension, as you mentioned, on the AVG side, Panba main stairs, with the support of Hyper inside of AVG itself. And Beastcoast, they haven't really made a full decision yet as to where to push, but there are two players outside that study balcony, so at the very least, have a bit of a presence there, create some distractions, open up a door or a window, but it does appear that the main push from Beastcoast right now is actually on the roof of all places, because they're making a rotation or droning out for information to make the decision to make the rotation and figure out what their game plan is. Slash right now droning inside a bore window, that's going to indicate, you know, what's clear and what's not, while Sweater and Surf on this main side of things will take easy map control because DarkZero has completely given up the side of the map.
Yeah, not looking to contest it too heavily. Like you said, maybe playing a bit more of a passive style, forcing Beastcoast to really make all the progress themselves rather than presenting those gunfights to them and giving them those early fights that they are probably looking for, in all honesty. But Beastcoast, they're not hurried about this attack just yet. They are starting this one off pretty slowly to mirror that DarkZero style of defense, and we see Anthony approaching on that master side while a couple of his other teammates work their way in around the other side of the map. It's actually Drip over on the complete other side of the map to find the scoreboard first, taking down Hyper, who's not going to be able to regenerate any more of those Wamai magnets for the remainder of round number 4.
Yeah, and that's going to not bode well for Canadian because he's inside that master bedroom closet, and all he really has to protect him now are ADSs, right? And hopefully he has all three, because once these nades come flying, once they figure out the position, he's going to be in a world of hurt, because this closet master bedroom position is one of those everything in one, you know, all the eggs in one basket style, where Canadian will either have to die in this room or fight for his life in this room. And sure, Eclipse is inside of in bathroom. He can somewhat help him out. There's a guy on the master bedroom door as well. But Canadian's position is so limited. But that was not a fake Iana clone. That was the real deal. That's Anthony off the board.
Oh
Eclipse,
my
what
goodness!
a nice shot. That is stripped off the board as well.
Hits a shot onto Drip all the way on that master window. Eclipse protecting Canadian with his life, and it's working beautifully. The tides have completely turned because Beastcoast are now on the back foot, and time is ticking away, and they do not have a lot of options. NJR will shut down Surf as he tries to get something going. Eclipse, there's a triple for him as he swings the Astro stairs, cleaned up quickly by Panba, and the round for DarkZero to tie us up 2-2.
That's not a DarkZero round. That is an Eclipse round, single-handedly saying, you know what, this is looking kind of dicey. Let me just go whoop whoop, get 2 kills, find the 3rd as well, shut down BC in the tracks. This Anthony Iana trick, or not trick rather, but the pushing on that window, extremely aggressive, a little bit questionable. There was no follow-up, there was no trade. The closet window itself on the master bedroom balcony hadn't even been opened up, which meant Eclipse wasn't under any exterior pressure when he went for that 1 versus 1 swing, and it just made his job a little bit easier, and he had way more confidence going into that gunfight. And now we're back in kitchen where DarkZero previously found success, and we're tied up 2-2.
Yeah, DarkZero really seemed to benefit them, changing up that bomb site, forcing Beastcoast to go to a different attacking rhythm. You said it, not giving those gunfights away, but keeping the sights loose, varying it up so Beastcoast are staying on their toes. But yes, heading back to kitchen and dining where they were able to secure a win last time they were here, much in part to a top floor extension and a very strong passive style of defense that really was focused on utility, was focused on passivity, and was focused on just forcing Beastcoast into an uncomfortable spot.
Yeah, in the same similar fashion now, this triple wall has not been fully reinforced. The 3rd wall on the left-hand side is soft. That kind of gives more pressure onto the attackers if they want to come and contest it, which kind of works the same way as when you're defending the trophy bomb site itself like the previous round. And because of the success that they had, they're going to mirror that same exact style on the dining kitchen bomb site. Hyper doing the same thing as well on that extension, on the office side of things on AVG, making sure that nobody will come in for free. And usually Hyper falls back around that 2-minute mark, so a minute into it, when he says, okay, well, no one is actually coming on this side of the map, I can now go back and help my teammate on the other side. And we do see indeed that Beastcoast are going to challenge the direct approach on the triple wall to hopefully gain vertical control to then hit the bomb site. But this is not an easy task because this triple wall has a soft spot. That means the closet jump in is dangerous.
Right, you can't just jump in closet, get into master for free, and start pressuring that wall right away. You've got to fight through Panba. You've got to fight through Eclipse, who we've already seen is a beast in this position. He has found himself in a tough spot, though, so he's trying to use this C4 to get out of it, but he doesn't get it out the window in time. He gets flashed. He can't quite get the right angle, so it'll be a C4 wasted, and Eclipse still in a bit of a pickle. He wants to fight his way out of this. He knows there's going to be players holding several angles on his position, but look at this. Somebody has creeped their way into Master, and I think DarkZero are not quite aware of this. Surf has already taken an advanced position, and there it is, catching Eclipse totally off guard and collecting that kill, but Surf is not done. He's going to swing around the brick door. He's going to look for the 2nd, and he'll take the head of Panba as well.
Almost a 3rd as well there. Hyper almost got challenged by Surf, and Surf, we know, one of the MVPs of day 1, looking really good now already on day 2. So far, he's now 5 kills in the first 5 rounds, so averaging 1 a round so far, looking very nicely for him. Sweater there as well in 5 and 2, but MGR shuts down Surf. Canadian follows it up on Slash, and now we're back 3 versus 3 with a minute to go.
Yeah, great recovery there from DarkZero, returning this one to an even man count. But as I say that, Drip steps up and takes down NJR as the laundry push really is all that Beastcoast have left. Canadian taking down Anthony means it is all up to Drip to get this plant down. He looks like he wants this Tetris plant spot, and he is going to stick that with Sweater on the coverage. He'll spot out the player swinging that China door. He knows there's somebody pushing into Memo. That's Hyper looking to get this angle from behind, but we are in a post plant now. Hyper downing Drip. Canadian with the finisher, and it's all up to Sweater in this 1v2. Spraying towards Memo, but uncertain, hits a good shot onto Canadian, through the wall, takes down Hyper, and takes the round for Beastcoast.
What a monumental round in situations to get that, but a wallbang and a pre-fire in that 1 versus 2, isolating each gunfight, not allowing DC to push up and isolate him instead. Hyper himself here got the injure with the wallbang, but Sweater, he tracked the bullets back to where they came from and found the head of his own. That is Hyper, last man standing, taken off the board, and Beastcoast takes the lead in round count.
Oh man, Beastcoast keeping it exciting here. I mean, this has been a back and forth game if there ever is one. I mean, not only are we back and forth between rounds and other rounds, but we are seeing this back and forth inside of each round as well. It's Beastcoast taking that advantage. DarkZero clawing that one back. And then look at Sweater just pulling it out in the end. Doing great work on that Finka. 7 kills to his name so far, joined by Surf with 5 kills as well. Really starting to put up numbers mirroring their performance from yesterday against PB. The big thing for DarkZero is that Panba really hasn't done much in terms of heating up. I mean, he was that star player yesterday. He went insane. I mean, I'm trying to see how many kills he got. 12 and 5. He was 2 and 1 on the entry. He was putting up numbers, 70% cost. He was looking good. Right now, he is 1-4 and hasn't quite made that impact.
Yeah, as Cookie said, it was a 4K and an ace that got 9 of those 12 kills, so 2 rounds alone. And more interestingly than that, we're seeing DarkZero take us to all 4 bomb sites. It was AVG Kitchen, AVG Trophy, back to Kitchen, and now on this final defensive round, the 6th round of this map so far, is now the Living Room Library. And this, I think, is just to kind of throw another issue in the face of Beastcoast, because they got comfortable attacking the previous bomb sites, and we've seen a different operator as well from the side of Beastcoast and Slash, because Slash was on the block originally and used the attacker repick to go on to Amaro of all operators, which doesn't necessarily have a direct impact on this particular bomb site, but the option to go really fast or up a hatch, into a window, etc., the aggression again is of course something that the Amaro allows for Slash to really go crazy with.
Well, it's amazing. In our first Villa of the year in the NAL, we already have a Living Room Library defense, so that's good to see.
On
and
the
that
board.
could theoretically be exactly the recipe that DarkZero needs to put Beastcoast in that uncomfortable position that we've talked about already. When Beastcoast don't really have that cohesive attacking plan, we can see it gets them flustered, it loses them some kills, and that's exactly what DarkZero are hoping they can emulate once again with a very important top floor hold. You also have Canadian on the red stairs, hoping to cut off this 90 position. He really needs to be forced out. Otherwise, Beastcoast are not going to be able to push from this north side of the map into Aviator where they need to get.
Yeah, and you Sweater doing the same thing every round, just kind of waiting around for somebody to swing by. And well, this time around, DC, they do swing, but they get away with the life. Everybody full on HP from the defensive side, as well as the attackers. Canadian now with that call that Sweater is around in that statue door, has been called up the red stairs for reinforcements in case he wants to swing. So DC trying to play the numbers advantage here.
Well, here comes a drop from Sweater. Yes, a rotation around. They're going to hit the site from the back. Like you said, they're not going to clear up above, and DarkZero need to realize this soon. Otherwise, they could get absolutely caught off guard. And like I said earlier, absolutely bamboozled. Sweater's going to continue this or start off this execute at least with a nade, but NJR is going to challenge on him and make sure he stays uncomfortable in this position. Slash has that Amaro and could try to come up from below at any time, but right now it is a head-on approach from Beastcoast, and DarkZero are more than ready. Hyper takes down 2. Drip says goodbye. Slash trying to get this diffuser down, but he is in a tough spot. He's taken down. The diffuser is dropped in the middle of the site. It is Anthony and Surf who are nowhere near close enough to support their down teammate. Still, DarkZero up above on the coverage on the site, swarming Beastcoast before this attack could really even get going. Canadian takes down Surf, and it is all over, but Anthony, who has tried to make something happen, NJR takes him down, and DarkZero on Living Room Library deliver a flawless round to tie us up.
Flawless round. That is now the second time in this matchup, because on the 3rd round, it was Beast Coast. They had their flawless time, and now DC in the 6th round, 3 rounds later, they had a flawless of their own. And this brings us to this real interesting position that it's a very tied up match, both in terms of round count. Both teams have a flawless situation. There's been clutches back and forth, standout performances, and that round in particular really brings me back to Beast Coast's previous game against Parabellum on Border, where they were attacking the Armory bomb site, and Parabellum were extended into security, and Beast Coast didn't know what to do about it. They just rushed into Armory. The same kind of story happened in that previous Living Room bomb site defense. Beast Coast didn't have a clear plan or strategy, so they 180-degree turned around middle of the round and just hit the site directly, trying to go for that desperate plant position, but the vertical play, the toxic bakes from DarkZero, locked down all their positions. They had nowhere that was safe for them, and therefore got shut down with ease. But now we got the side swap. Beast Coast are on the defense.
Yeah, all those lessons, all those things we could talk about on that first half, we can essentially throw those out the window, because we have a competitive as heck map, and we are going into the second half of it right now. Beast Coast on the defensive side, they'll be looking to maybe use some of that aggressive energy from the attack and try to show it up on the defense as much as they can. I mean, Sweater's playing the Mozzie. I expect him to be running around this map. Surf's on that Jaeger. He's feeling confident. I expect him to be running around as well. And if you look at it, we've only got 3 players really near the site. 3 defenders, that is. Only 2 upstairs, Drip and Anthony. You've got Surf down below. Over on the other side of the map, you've got Sweater looking to contest this kitchen and dining entry coming in from Canadian. And there it is, taking the head of Canadian before the round could really even get started.
And that's the Jackal, right? That's the attacker repeat like, oh, these guys are going to be roaming. Let's get the Jackal and track the feed. And then the opening kill is Canadian on the Jackal in the first 30-40 seconds. And that's going to leave DarkZero with a lot less information to work with. All they will have now are drones. And all Canadian can do is watch those cams as he has fallen earlier on the round. But this 4v5 opening is not what you want, because on Villa in particular, the numbers advantage, having a higher man count than your opponent, is extremely advantageous because of defenders having so many different crossfires and so many fortifiable positions. This main stairs position that NJR is staring down the gun barrel with is one of those positions where Surf is playing. It's hard to clear it out, and it's even harder when you have one less player on the board.
Yeah, DarkZero, knowing that they are already down a man, are hoping that these nades from below could find something, at the very least some damage onto Beastcoast. It won't be the nade to deal damage to Drip, it'll just be Hyper, who looks through those floor holes he had made with that frag grenade previously, but Drip will relocate outside of that aviator door, and he will be just fine to sit back and get on those yokai drones for the remainder of the round. DarkZero trying to make a bit of a push into Study, but Anthony is not going to allow that to happen as long as he is alive, and that deployable shield is still up.
Yeah, and that's the thing. I mean, you got 3 flashbangs on Eclipse and 2 nades on NGR. So in a perfect world, you got to work together with those 2 particular players, clear out the ADSs, burn them down, and throw the grenade, clear the shield top main to apply pressure. But Surf on the main stairs itself is going to make that even more difficult. Slash playing top red as well, really locking down all the opportunity areas for DarkZero. C4 comes out, nothing comes out of it, because a player from DC just walks slightly backwards.
Yeah, well, it's not a huge deal because plant denial, there is still so much in the pocket of Beastcoast. Another C4, smokes and yokai drones, and heck, just use your bullets and you can take down DarkZero before they can even get in the site. Panba's done for. NJR is dealt with thanks to Slash and a nice shotgun. Drip takes down Eclipse, and it's all up to Hyper just like that. Beastcoast really want another flawless round. They've got all 5 players up, and there is pretty much nothing that Hyper can do. He's got to recover that diffuser, find a lot of kills, and simply does not have enough time to do it here in round number 7. I don't think he's even going to bother going upstairs, just sitting below for the remainder of the round, maybe using a couple of seconds here to talk it over with the rest of his team, see what they can do better next time they come to this site. At the very least, he will deny the flawless round, but if you're thinking Beastcoast dominance, consider that a flawless round in your book.
Yeah, I was going to say, in my book, that is a flawless round. I mean, sure, one player, I think it was Slash, swung down for fun. He died, Hyper said live, KD, Pat statting, whatever. But that is, technically speaking, a flawless round, because the round was over. It's a 1 versus 5, and Hyper wasn't even trying to really win it out. There wasn't any time either, no case, as you mentioned. So Beastcoast actually looking very impressive. They continue to get that early aggression, the open advantage, and then actually played quite disciplined, right? They came back towards the bomb side. Slashhawk locked down the top red side of the map. We had Surf and Anthony playing top main together in Union as well. So all the quote-unquote weak areas or possible entries for DarkZero were reinforced by Beastcoast, where if they were to try and challenge, there'll be 1 or 2 players ready to swing you, to challenge together, and really reduce your odds of winning. And now going to this trophy bomb site instead, all 3 walls in towards master bedroom will be reinforced. Surf reinforcing off the vault wall here in 90. That's going to indicate once again that extension on the map that, well, yes, the bomb site sure enough is on statue trophy, but you want to have some sort of presence in the AVG area to once again slow down the attackers, which now are DarkZero, and Canadian is once again on the Jackal, and I think that he's hoping to get the gadget to be used this time around and not die early on, because when you got people like Surf, like Drip, like Sweater just running out the map, it can be so infuriating, right? You got drones, you got the whole thing on attack, and all it takes is one fast boy shooting a few bullets and you're done.
Well, as Beastcoast have now taken the lead back from DarkZero for the 4th time, all my mind could think about is our prediction percentage here.
Nick.
And I'm worried about that coin retaking us again. That would be terrifying. But one thing that I did say maybe when making my prediction does seem to be true.
Yeah.
That this is going to be a close game. It has been back and forth the entire time. That pattern, one team, the other team, DarkZero, Beastcoast, it has continued the entire time. Beastcoast, of course, looking to finally break that pattern and establish a 2-round lead. They're going to try to do that here in round number 8. As like you said, we are going to trophy and statuary, the other side of this top floor, and DarkZero once again need to work their way through some aggressive, some hungry defenders looking for some early frags.
Yeah, they are, and they're not really finding any so far. And Nate, once again, from below, we got Jackal Canadian downstairs in Library Living, looking for someone to lurk down there as well and scan his feet. feet. Surf instead of 90, locking down the top main push here. No drones really coming out from DarkZero just yet, and they spend both nades now vertically from the side of Hyper, which means NJR is the only grenade player left standing. NJR tries to take a fight alone, but there's two people from that swings back, and Surf finds one, he finds two, and his DarkZero is shot down instantaneously.
I have no idea how Surf was able to line up both of those kills there, but yeah, Canadian comes back and immediately equalizes. Something that DarkZero have done amazingly well so far is even when Beastcoast get these opening frags, they find a way to neutralize that advantage, but it's not over yet. You still have Sweater to worry about, but thankfully Panba spots his head and takes him down, and just in the span of, what, 20 seconds, DarkZero have now gone from a 2-man disadvantage to 1-man up.
It's a scrappy round from both teams because it is that back and forth. What looked like a great beginning for BC, well, Canadian quickly turned that around from downstairs, got one kill, walked up the red stairs, found a second, and now, well, Surf is still alive, so is Anthony. 3 toxic babes, shield somewhere on the bomb side, and there's no grenades or explosive utility from the side of DC, so that will be a problem. But they got flashbangs and smokes to work with, so as long as they utilize their utility, they should have no problem making their way through this bomb site.
They may be looking to make a push from the backside, but Anthony is just sitting there and waiting for them, dropping the diffuser down as Eclipse doesn't have that in pocket anymore. Panba says goodnight as Anthony slams him with the SMG-11, and it's going to have to be Canadian to do the rest of the work for his team. He got the 2 kills to equalize. He's going to need 2 more, but as he turns to face the Evil Eye, the call goes out. Beastcoast steps up, and it is Anthony with the final 3 kills to give Beastcoast the lead again and to make sure the pattern is finally broken. Beastcoast take 2 rounds in a row, and they stretch their lead to 2 as well.
Yeah, that's a great call right on that Meister bubble. That's the Meister cameras, the Evil Eyes. We call them bubbles in competitive play. You know, the second that Canadian turned around to smash it, well, that's when BC swings. They know that he cannot be shooting back if he's mid-melee animation, if his back is turned towards them, and it just eases up that 1 versus 2. The whole pressure of, oh no, we might die, completely goes out the window, and you can peak with comfortability, or confidence rather, for at least a second or 2. And that now means that we're working our way through the bomb sites because Beastcoast, you know, ripping up those victories. 1 AVG, 1 on trophy. So we're going downstairs into kitchen dining, and well, look at Sweater bringing out the vigil. Obviously, we're gonna get active because that is the name of the game for Beastcoast. Drip will bring out those mute jammers, but he does not have a shotgun, right? He is bringing that MP5K. He wants to get aggressive as well, leaving up all the soft destruction basically to Slash, whereas impacts and that secondary shotgun on Maestro. And if you're a Slash, you'll be like, oh, this is so annoying. I mean, you know, Drip could just pick up a shotgun and make my life easier. But then again, the whole win condition for Beastcoast is to let people like Drip go crazy, and it's obviously working very well.
Yeah, they're clearly having a good time with it as well. You've got Sweater, who's trying to play the most aggressively we have seen him yet, going for a bit of a spawn peek towards the ruin spawn from the main double door. He'll actually step outside and get detected, but nobody from DarkZero was in his line of sight anymore. But Canadian rounds the corner, rather it's Panba who gets slammed into the earth. Wow, Sweater was ready for that, must have heard the vault animation because Panba, he thought he caught Sweater off guard, but really it was him who really didn't know what was coming.
I think Sweater's playing ranked right now, honestly. I think if I got what match he's in right now, but I saw they were playing TDM for warm-up on stage before the match came on, and I mean, I feel like, you know, Sweater and Drip might have forgotten that they actually left that match and actually played a professional game of Rainbow Six Siege, because I wouldn't say they're not respecting DarkZero, but they have so much confidence. It doesn't seem like they're even worried about the players right now, and Panbasu getting shut down massively, who's 2-7 right now, and without Panba, the injuries are kind of struggling for DarkZero. It's tough.
Panba was that top frag. I already said it yesterday. He had a 1.51 rating. He had a 12-5 plus 7 overall, 2-1 on the KD. On the entry rather. I've said that before, but the point is, Panba is 2-7. Where has he gone? DarkZero need him if they want to make this one happen, because Beastcoast, it really feels like they are seizing this momentum and trying to run away with it. It felt close, but Beastcoast have started to step ahead. They've got a 2-round lead, and they're playing more confidently than ever.
They are. I mean, Sweater, sure. He survived. He's very low on HP. Now, Canadian can do some work with that Jackal gadget, but, well, Anthony, who he scanned, is so far off the map, so he's not even nearby to be dealt with. And now we see BC playing more together. Anthony coming back to side to play together with Slash. We saw Drip and Sweater upstairs playing together as well. And Beastcoast want to ensure that this league that has been established will stay in their favor. And DC, they're looking for something, right? They're trying to scrap this round together with that early loss. There's very few drones available, 5 total, 4 on the ground, and honestly, they don't have a ton of map control. This nade could really bring them back in the round, but that nade will not do any damage at all to Surf. But a gun bulletable from NGR, now evening back the man count to 4 versus 4.
Yeah, it's even, and Sweater is on just a sliver of HP. One bullet to anywhere on his body will take him down. So this is not over whatsoever for DarkZero. I mean, you've still got Canadian in play. He's done a great job of neutralizing these advantages in these prior rounds, and he's looking to do so again. He knows exactly where Sweater is coming from. He's got his eyes trained on those red stairs, and Sweater, he'll step up. Canadian does back off that angle, but to do something more important, to cover the planter. Eclipse sticking this. Canadian on the coverage gets one, quickly denied by that Alda, but Drip takes a lot of damage, finished off by NJR. Anthony has to step up and do something, and he will, but Eclipse is there for the trade. Slash last player standing, and he's got to find two. One player is up above, though, so he has his work cut out for him, given that he is a big boy, and he's got to lumber all the way up top to get that done. He will collect the kill on Eclipse, but really does it matter at this point? NJR sitting up above can sit there calmly, has eyes on that diffuser, and he knows that eventually Slash is going to have to round the corner. He will do so, but he is out of time. He's going to have to stick this diffuser, and he gets spotted out from above. NJR cleans him up, and DarkZero stay alive.
Huge round from DarkZero, and Canadian especially, right? Because Sweater came for that flank on the red stairs, and the moment he creeped up and showed his head, Canadian flicked around, they had a flank cam, got the easy kill, and then Canadian swung aggressively into kitchen through that China door. And you can argue, why would Canadian play so aggressive after getting the advantage? Well, it's because the plant was going down, and if Canadian can cause enough distraction and chaos in the moment, well, as long as they successfully get the plant down, they can play that post plant up above from NGR on the sledge. And we saw that earlier today with Eska, you know, when they were playing on Chile with, you know, 1 versus 3, you're a floor above the bomb where it's being put down on the bomb side, and it's so easy to win, especially 1v1, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, there are so many sites across the entire map pool where that kind of play is allowed. Think about Clubhouse on Arsenal in that basement site. Yep. You sit up on that kitchen hatch, and there's pretty much nothing the defense can do if you are already staffing that position. The power of vertical play, especially in a post plant, cannot be underscored enough, because again, the defense can't really take those gunfights with you that easily, and if they don't have a man advantage, there's really nothing they can do to bring that one back. So DarkZero are 1 round closer to not only equalizing the man count in the round, but equalizing our round count overall. Still down by 1 as Beastcoast lead 5-4.
Yeah, and actually DarkZero making a swap here, putting Eclipse back on the ace and allowing Pamba on that F2. It's the F2 Basu, as Cookies put himself last night on the desk. And I think the name of the game right now for DarkZero is to try and get Pambasu back into the game, right? Getting comfortable. If he's not feeling the ace or the AK-12, etc., or finding himself needing something to make himself successful in the round, give that to him. If that's the Twitch, let it be that way. Canadian scan the feet. The timing actually favors him, but it was also close to be his own demise. Canadian finds the opening kill to Sweater. Finally, this kind of rivalry between these two players, getting opening kill to opening kill, it goes in favor of DC, it goes in favor of Canadian. The Jackal's activated.
Yeah, Canadian finally just getting that opening before it could actually, or before he could actually be spotted out on the Jackal and doing his job as a Jackal, that Inox scanner doing exactly what he is meant to do. On the site, you do have 3 players sitting in wait, but there is still 1 roamer that DarkZero have to worry about. It is Slash with the C4 lurking down below around living room and library. Actually, he's back upstairs. He's worked his way back up the stairs. Yeah, he's quick. He's worked his way back up the red stairs and is positioned in the 90 hall, looking to provide this cutoff as DarkZero work their way across to try to pressure Aviator in games.
And the thing is that when Sweater died early on, and you also have a Clash on the side of Anthony, you're kind of playing only 3 guns on the defensive side of Beastcoast because, you know, Clash is going to be extended up, use a shield, slow down, and act as a drone and information gatherer. Then you have Drip on the Yokai, the Echo, where, well, you might be on cameras using those Yokai drones actively. That means you have 2 guns all of a sudden, and it's Slash on SMG-11, and it's Surf on SMG-11. So gun power-wise, on the side of Beastcoast, there isn't a whole lot when you got like AK-12 and Eclipse, F2 and Pambasu, LMG and Hyper, etc. So Beastcoast up in a world of trouble here because, well, once Pambasu closes in with this drone, gains the information, and can push up the 90 hall, they're going to get limited on where they can be on site. You know, Vault is safe, top main is safe, but that's the only ground they really have.
One possible problem, though, is the lack of Zofia stuns against the Clash. They're going to have to figure out a way to deal with Anthony with those nades, with sheer gun power, without the easy little, I guess, go free, like, I guess, pass go, whatever you get when you play a Monopoly, to take him down. But Canadian will end up taking Drip. Still have to worry about Anthony, but there are only 3 Beast Coast defenders left, and here comes that plant going down. C4 not on the mark. The smoke missing as well. Slash from below can't get the job done, so the bomb is down, and we're in a post plant. Slash down below is last alive as Eclipse cleans up Anthony. He's going to have to work his way back up the stairs with that SMG-11 if he wants any shot at getting this one done, but it's Hyper with that LMG to clean up the angle and to give DarkZero the round. We'll have a Beast Coast timeout here because, well, they've lost that momentum that they've been using so well to their advantage.
I am really curious what happened to the C4. Maybe we'll figure that out at some point in the replay, but I have this theory. Someone from DC, I believe, tossed out a grenade in the ground, and as Slash threw his C4, I have this theory that possibly the grenade explosion somehow killed the C4 mid-air, because I swear I saw it. I saw him rip it. I saw him toss it. I never saw it explode, and it was on the plan about to get a double kill, but it didn't happen. Either way, we won't know for sure, but hopefully we can figure that out, because that would have been a massive play, arguably by random. But tactical timeout from Beast Coast. As you mentioned, it makes sense. They've lost the momentum. They're no longer in the lead. And despite getting open and kill most rounds, besides that final round that we just saw on our screen, they haven't really found success after that. They've been failing to convert the opening kill initially to a round victory. And that's usually what they do so well, is that when they get the early kill, they get the round as well. It's troublesome.
Yeah, it's troublesome. We're all tied up, and well, it looks like Beast Coast have lost a little bit of that momentum, and DarkZero have seized it and are going to look to hold onto it as long as they can. Everyone heating up, I guess, except for Panba, who still really hasn't done much to find the scoreboard. I guess DarkZero have been doing fine without him, though. NJR has stepped up, found 10 kills. Eclipse is doing well. Hyper and Canadian all hitting at least 7 kills, all positive right now. Only Panba lagging behind just a little. And like I said, Beast Coast starting to cool off. It was Sweater who was running around the map like a madman, collecting a ton of kills. We've seen him continue to bring out that aggressive play style, but it looks like DarkZero have realized what they're dealing with and have done a good job of countering that pretty successfully.
Yeah, and I think the standout player these last couple of rounds have actually been Canadian, right? He's doing the interact down below, lurking around, and yeah, he got shut down once by Sweater, but then he also returned the favor 2 rounds later and shut down Sweater himself, and Canadian is allowing his team to gain a lot of map control and freedom, and sure, sometimes, NGR, Eclipse, Panba, and Hyper will run into a problem, and Canadian can't really help besides, maybe talking to them, but it's been going all right, all things considered, and I think when you shut down Sweater, you shut down the roam game, and you're worrying about where is Canadian on the map, that's going to help everybody from DarkZero inside of this map in this round, because it's what Beast Coast relies upon, right? That wow factor. What room will they be hiding in? And we see it right now, Surf all alone inside a vault, halfway across the map with no support. Can DC deal with him?
Well, it looks like they're going to try to do that, as we've got a couple of players working their way up onto the study balcony. Somebody on the top of main stairs already, it would appear. Surf will open up a hole a little bit further, trying to deal with those X-Kairos pellets, but the impact trick is well off the mark, so he is forced to fall back. Hyper will quickly seize this position, not wanting to give up even a second of the intel they have. Intel and Siege go stale very quickly, so it's good on DarkZero to act on that very, very fast. Sweater just spotting out the head of Hyper, but cannot capitalize, so he will back off to the red stairs and wait for DarkZero to walk into his open arms.
Ooh, but he's stuck, and NGR is down below. Great rotation from DarkZero, right? Recognizing that there's a player on the red stairs, gotta capitalize, isolate, take down the kill, but Surf, instead of 90, I don't think the drone missed him. He's gonna seize this opportunity. Nope, never mind, actually, gonna fall back to the side, take out the drone and say, we play it safe here. 5 versus 4, minute and 20 to go, and now DC has established that half of the map that they wanted. Well, the one big key factor again is Canadian. He's been down below this entire time in library, living, kitchen, dining, which means that DC actually has a lot more control than what meets the eye, and all that BC has is the bomb site and master bedroom. So DC now, if they can rotate a player or 2 to master bedroom balcony, Eclipse right there on your screen just did just that, and that means now the DC are in full control with the map, and all they gotta do now, which is easier said than done, is to execute accordingly.
Well, as we saw Surf back off, I think it's pretty clear that what Beast Coast may have talked about is playing that a little bit more safely. Once they lose a player, they don't want to risk too much. Instead, have more guns up on the site and be ready to go. I guess Surf still wants to play semi-aggressively on the site itself. He'll be positioned in closet, was tempted to go for a swing out the closet window, window, but he's flashed, so he'll back off and play a little bit more passively. But his position is definitely known. He has to tuck tail and run because he is coming under fire. Drip is coming under fire as well. Panba will claim his kill, and now only 3 of these defenders remain. 2 of them remain as Slash is felled. Hyper trying to get this bomb down. Surf going for the swing, actually waiting for Panba to walk into his arms, but NJR cleaning up Anthony. Canadian taking down Surf, and DarkZero with 3 rounds back to back to back. They've taken the lead for the first time.
That they have, and that was a nice adaptation from DarkZero because they started planting, and the moment they lost a player, they stopped planting immediately, guns up, did not want to give any chance of a clutch from inside of Beastcoast. And well, if you're Beastcoast now, you had the lead, you've now officially lost it. It's match point. You don't have a timeout anymore. DarkZero does. So the thing is, DarkZero has more things going their way, and also they have the last 3 rounds worth of momentum going into this potential final round of a kitchen dining defense here. And BC, they aren't changing anything up in the upper lineup, right? It's the Mute still, the Vigil, the Maestro, the Melusi in the smoke, same old, but who has better influence on his teammates? Canadian or Drip?
100% to 0. That's my guess.
100%. I'm gonna say 98.
What? Oh my goodness!
What?
Are you kidding?
All right, I'm gonna think here, theorize, right? I think a lot of people that voted is like Drip is a positive. You know, we see him on the player cams. Right? He's like, woo, let's go, wow, you know,
hyping
good vibes. Yeah,
exactly.
Hyping them up, and that is a good influence. And then some people think they mean leadership, right? And Troy is like the leader people always talk about. And Drip himself in his interview said, you know, he wants to take down Canadian as the leader. He must be like, you know, we're better than him, etc. And he said that Canadian was on the fraud watch. Is that the term? The fraud watch?
Fraud watch. Yeah, I think that's how they put it when they were, you know, theorizing. They were theory crafting and all those little videos we saw them writing it on the board. NA fraud watch, all that kind of stuff. Clearly, yeah, they're feeling pretty loose, but.
They've been having good fun with those videos.
They have, and it's been great to see them. You know, all the players having a good time. But Beastcoast, they really want to win this, and that will help them have an even better time. So Sweater, he's just going to run out the door. NJR caught on his drone, and Sweater swinging on the study balcony will claim the opening kill for Beastcoast. On match point, Beastcoast doing a great job to kick things off, now twofold, as Anthony takes down Canadian.
Boy. I mean, okay, so you said that this game might be our first OT game of the year and of the season. I'm not going to change anything, right? It's a 3v5, anything's possible, but yes, it's a close game. You are correct. And you might also be correct that it might even go all the way to be so close that it's going to go to OT. 2 minutes left. 3v5 in favor of Beastcoast. They're on the bomb site now. Sweater ran very far away, tail between his legs, and you know what? I'm not going to throw this round. Back to my friends I go. And then Anthony found one of his own as well, leaving Drip and Slash inside to make sure that no one's rushing.
And now that they've got that advantage, if they just play together, this is their round. There's no question about it. Just play the trade game. Don't allow DarkZero to take individual gunfights one after another, because we've seen all of these 3 players at some point, either today or yesterday, have proved they are more than capable of doing that. But right now, these DarkZero attackers are also a little bit spread out. You've got Panba working his way up those basement stairs. You've got Hyper and Eclipse, who both dropped onto the pantry stairs and are looking to make a move. But look who's ready for that. Slash. He is more than ready. He's just going to hold left click with that Alda, take 2 headshots. Anthony finishes up Panba, and DarkZero get flawless again. Is that the 3rd time, essentially, we've seen that?
That is the 3rd flawless, 2 for Beastcoast, 1 for DarkZero, and that also puts us into overtime for the first time. Here on Villa, first time seeing Villa, first time seeing overtime, and 3 flawless rounds so far. So no aces, though. I will say, no aces.
But at the very least, both of these teams have secured 1 point. In our point system, if you go to overtime in these best of ones, you secure 1 point if you get that loss, 2 points if you secure that win. But 3 points are no longer on the table for one of these teams because we are in OT, and best of one scoring is all about dividing up those points. Because clearly these two teams are pretty evenly matched on Villa right now, so makes sense not to award one team the full credit for that victory or that loss, because it is indeed quite competitive.
It is, and also as a player, right? Like, let's say you go to OT, you go all the way, and then you lose in OT, it's like, you get 0 points. That would suck, right? It's like, we clawed it back, we fought so hard, and we don't get a single piece of reward. Now, because you've entered OT, you're guaranteed that 1 point, the commendation point for, you know, showing up, participation trophy, if you will, for making it so far. And honestly, it's quite nice to see, especially if you're a fan of these teams. It sucks seeing them go so far, so close, and come away with nothing. So the 1 point really is nice to see, and BC bringing out the Maverick. something that we haven't really seen so far in VLAN. And it's something that can be hard to activate because of so many soft walls, you know, crossfires, verticality, C4s, etc. Where most teams, and both DarkZero and Beastcoast as well, they've been primarily using Ace and Hibana or a mixture of both. Whereas NGR, once again, bringing out that Warden in case some Ying shenanigans gets brought out, but that is not the case.
Well, DarkZero on defense first in overtime, so if we go to all 15 rounds, they will get to defend twice, but as this map has been 3-3, 50-50 split, has not favored the defense or the attackers on either half. This is pretty even footing for both teams. Already some action directly on the site. Beastcoast not going for that full study over clear like we've seen them do last time. Instead, pressuring this site right away. Hyper has come under the gun. So has Canadian as the flashes and the stuns come on in those windows. NJR, he feels that pressure. He wants to get aggressive. He'll swing that Astro window, but back off as he just misses the kill.
And you know, this opening kill hasn't happened yet, but it plays a crucial role for both of these teams because more often than not, the opening kill means you also get the round, and this has been a back and forth where sometimes that's not always the case, but especially in OT, when the pressure is at its highest and the risks become, they feel so risky and not so rewarding. You know, whoever gets the opening kill really has that mental favor saying, you know what, we're in the clear, we didn't mess up, we're good. Flashbang, it is clear right now. Nate is going to follow through, clear out this shield on concrete. There it is.
Yeah, just gets burned at the last second and eventually taken care of. So 90 seconds in, and Beastcoast feel like they're ready to move in. Surf may be tempted to jump in that bathroom window. He'll let the Yana Gemini clone go in first to see what waits around the corner, but NJR will shut down that clone before too much intel could be gathered. The Mana pellets go down, and Hyper cannot get the impact trick done in time, meaning that that wall is open. The triple wall exposes those defenders on the site.
Yeah, it's worth maybe considering there if you don't actually throw the... Oh! No, Drip, opening kill, okay. Hyper gets taken down, no impacts in his pocket, so nothing too much is lost. But that now means that BC can open up this wall even further, but NGR wants to shut that down right now.
Yeah, NJR gets one back, Canadian follows, but Anthony keeps us even in that 3v3. Diffuser still has to be recovered, but we've got a skirmish down below. Eclipse takes down Surf, who is all alone in that position, leaving Slash and Anthony out to dry. Slash takes a little bit of damage here and needs to work with his teammate to get something going, but again, his teammate is on the other side of the map than him, and they have to find a way to group up in the next 25 seconds. Get together, guys. You've got no time remaining, and you've got to make a move. He'll jump in down below and look to move up those Astro stairs while Slash stays on the site and looks to pressure that triple wall, but he's got to grab that diffuser, and now he's got to push in this room. He'll be walking into a crossfire. DZ know exactly what's coming. 5 seconds to just get this bomb on the ground. There goes Anthony, dropped. Pamba cleans him up, and Canadian will finish off Slash, and it is all over for DZ in that round. They take care of Beastcoast. They now go up again, taking that advantage, and it is once again match point. Beastcoast trying to stay alive.
Yeah, and as isolated members of Beastcoast falling apart, and despite DarkZero winning the round, look at this, a tactical timeout. They want to say this right here on our attacking side in OT will be the final round that we get. At the very least, if we lose that round, we've taken the timeout, we've spoken about the, you know, the next step, what's the game plan, and this is often where we see like a pocket strat come out, maybe some funky attacker repick situations, or maybe just talk about if they go trophy, we do this, if they go AVG, we do that, if they go kitchen, be prepared for this because we failed it the previous time, and I'm sure that Mint, the coach of DarkZero standing right behind them, is going over some sort of mental checklist saying, okay guys, these were the problems, and these are possible solutions, or something along those lines.
Only just remember that DarkZero are indeed the overtime kings that they are. Feels like they can never win in regulation. They were able to do it yesterday against Mirage, but they could not today against Beastcoast. But now they only are 1 round away from getting the job done with 60 seconds to kind of think things over, hopefully putting them in the right headspace. They've got the right strat going forward into this round. They're probably only just guessing, though, on which site they're going to end up running into. Thankfully, even if you don't have the right strat in mind going into the round, like we've said before, attacker repick allows you to pivot on the fly. Beastcoast have won Aviator once, Trophy and Statuary once, and Kitchen and Dining once. So DarkZero, maybe they didn't know exactly what to expect, but as soon as those drones get into the building, they're going to have a pretty good idea that it is Trophy and Statuary that Beastcoast have elected to defend. Yeah,
and last time we saw this defense from Beastcoast, it was DarkZero that came out on top, right? They got the opening pick, then they worked their way through top red, they walked into Statue, they planted the diffuser while Eclipse was on that master pitch on balcony, shutting down the rotation. So last time, Beastcoast did not have the right success, and they're choosing once again from Anthony to bring out that clash, get mobile, gain information, and hopefully stall out or slow down DarkZero. But to be honest, when they played Clash the last time on AVG defense, it didn't really seem to do a whole lot, and especially because they lost the opening pick. Right? So they played that 4 versus 5, plus Clash doesn't really have a gun. Makes it a 3 versus 5. So when you have the advantage, the Clash becomes extremely nice to have. But when you fall early on, it almost becomes like your downfall, in a way.
Does the Twitch affect the Clash in any way? Can that Twitch drone actually make an impact?
So that's a good question. Unless it's changed since I retired, the Twitch drone can actually sap Clash, not directly on the shield, but her body from behind, and it'll cause the full, swing out, exposing the chest of Clash, almost as if you're meleeing her. It's a very interesting mechanic.
Yeah, no Zofia, but still some possibility of working away that Clash if you need to, get her taken care of in a rush situation.
Yeah.
Of course, deploying those Twitch drones does take some time, but we know Canadian can be quick on his feet, and he can get that done if the situation calls for it. But right now, they're not worried about that Clash or even what's going on that top floor. It is a first floor entry into kitchen and dining, and for the first time, I think we can say there is no real roam from Beastcoast downstairs, not trying to pressure DarkZero the moment they walk into the building.
That's true. And oh my god, that wallbang almost got the opening pick on Twitter. That would have been the worst way to go out, but he gets to live and play out this round a little bit longer at least. And well, Anthony's still alive with these magnets, going to enforce his position of fortified rather, and DC, they gotta figure out how to get inside the map, right? As you said, they went below, they got some vertical control. Nades are starting to fly out all across the board, but without those nades, this Clash becomes more and more difficult to deal with, and of course, so does anything else. There are no shields from the side of Beastcoast, which means that won't be a problem, but they do have a singular C4 from Drip, so limited utility that they can actively use to kind of get in the way of DarkZero.
Yeah, I know DarkZero were trying to nade from below, but like you said, you got to keep those grenades close to the chest because Anthony is still on that Clash, and that is a perfect weapon to take care of her, so you got to make sure you have that piece of utility later in the round. You can't use those all on the vertical, but it looks like NJR might sniff around that there's somebody around the corner. Drip is positioned on those basement stairs, but NJR does feel comfortable enough to continue with those grenades. Opening pick is finally found. Slash onto Canadian, but Panba, finding his 5th kill of the map, will take down Slash. NJR now is solely focused on the possibility that Drip could get something done, but the C4 is going to come up empty, and now Drip is in a tough spot. NJR still backs off, though, so now we're going to focus on DarkZero with 20 seconds. They're going to have to push this site. Drip is going to have to return to the site. NJR is going to have to return to his teammates, but the Clash is still up. DarkZero have not made enough progress. This is looking very concerning for them. It's going to take quite a play. Panba sneaking around from behind could maybe get this done. He will take care of Surf Eclipse with a kill on a Drip. This puts them in the advantage. Anthony is in a crossfire. He gets taken down, but oh no! The nade kill onto NJR. Eclipse is the last player standing, and just like that, DarkZero lose the chance to get the bomb down. The nade kill onto himself. That's how the round ends, and Beastcoast send us to round 15.
It's a disaster, full-blown disaster. What a mess, what a chaotic and poetic ending to the second final round of this matchup. The grenade, the Maestro bubble, the Clash, the flying from Panbasu. Oh my goodness. And that brings us to 7-7 overtime match point. It is not infinite OT, guys. We're not in the grand finals, not in a major or anything like that, but we will see this final round play out with DarkZero on the defense. Both teams having burnt their timeout, which means straight into the action. Living Library, the usually funky bomb site that not many teams play, is where we will see our victor. And last time, if you recall, Beastcoast tried to go up above, roam clear. Couldn't figure it out, so they just tried to go for a straight, bomb site-ish rush, and it was a massacre. Toxic babes are tossed out, flashbangs, grenades, etc. But ultimately, DarkZero, with that vertical control side of Vault, they shut down the planned possibility from Beastcoast, and they got the round. So DC were the victor previously on this bomb side.
It was a flawless round.
It was a flawless round.
DarkZero, yeah, crushed Beastcoast before the attack could really get any sort of foothold. So that's exactly what they're going to be looking to emulate again. Beastcoast need to figure out how to attack this site, and because they already burned that tactical timeout, they don't have time to think it over and get something going. They just got to figure it out on the fly. We know this team is flexible. There's a lot of firepower. There's a lot of brain power on this team too, and I don't think that is mentioned enough about this new team. But at the end of the day, they've got to make it happen right now. It is with, I guess, technically just 1 point split on the line, either that 1 point or those 2 points, but they would really like to take down DarkZero. I know Drip really wants this win.
Even if not for the point, the players is the bragging rights and say, we beat DarkZero. No one's going to ask you, but by how much? And you're like, by 1 round. No one cares, right? Either you win or you lose. So this 1 round right here, but the opening kill goes in favor of DarkZero. It's Eclipse on the Warden, taking down the leader in Slashhawk.
Wow, DarkZero, what a start. Getting that opening pick and doing exactly what they need to do to put Beastcoast into these uncomfortable positions where they start to get flustered. But this could be big. Hyper just staying alive. Sweater only slightly off the mark with that frag grenade, and we are still holding that advantage for DarkZero. Panba, he's going to be careful, and he's going to back off to the cover of that shield. Doesn't want to expose himself too much. He knows that his team has this advantage, and they're going to want to hold on to it as long as they can.
Yeah, and Panba's position here on the top main stairs is the most important spot on the map. This red grenade almost takes him out, but he runs away. He wasn't cooked long enough, but the shield is gone. Surf runs up the verticality, but the trade comes through. It's 2 for 0. They're still in the lead.
Oh, Panba takes down Drip as well. A double kill for him, and just like that, DarkZero have put themselves on top. It is all up to Anthony, and there is almost nothing he is going to be able to do. He does have 2 low HP defenders to find. Both Panba and Hyper have no HP really to work with, but Anthony is now in the middle of about 5 different defenders looking at his position. He pulls out the nade, and NJR finishes him off. DarkZero, it is an 8-7 victory. It took them to the last possible round, but they will close it out. Overtime win, our first overtime game, and damn, was that exciting.
And you're right. It was a close game, it was an overtime game, and that final round, as you saw, it was a flawless one as well. So 2 times the DarkZero defend Library Living, 2 times did they go flawless, and 4 times between both of these teams were flawless rounds as well.
That's crazy.
That is crazy. Again, we didn't see an ace, but the reason why we didn't see an ace in that game is because it was such a tight fit of a matchup that not one individual player had that big of an impact on the outcome of the rounds. There's each and every single member in various moments and various rounds that really stood up to the challenge, whether it's the IGL of Canadian from DarkZero, or Slash from Beastcoast, or if it's like the injuries like Panbasu. Yeah, slow start from Panba, but towards the end, even he got fired up.
Wow, what a finish. I mean, to end the week with our first overtime game, to end on round 15. Yeah. Can imagine no better way to close it out, and I'm sure Canadian, all of DarkZero are feeling good. And they made it work despite not everything firing on all cylinders, right? I know I talked about Panba several times, just not really getting those frags that we saw him get yesterday on Bank against Mirage. But the rest of the team absolutely stepped up in his stead. You had Eclipse, who put up numbers. You had NJR, Canadian, who were going crazy. And even though we saw a ton of firepower on the side of Beastcoast, they just could not match. In the end, DarkZero making it happen, the opening kill, and then they just let it all go from there.
One of the worst things I think that can happen to a player is, you're in the final round, the 15th round, and you're the opening death. That was unfortunately Slash from Beastcoast. There was Eclipse on that 90 window, swinging out aggressively, finding that opening kill, saying, guys, I did it. I got the kill. It's 5v4, final round. Let's end this right here. Let's not lose this. And I know, yes, Slash and IGL, he can call from the grave, but it feels so bad to feel like you're letting your team down when it matters the most. And I will say this. Beastcoast are looking very impressive. They put up, a victory against Parabellum first game, 7-5 on Border. And now, yes, they came out on a loss, sure enough, against DarkZero, but they took them all the way to OT for the first time this entire year so far. They took us to a new map we haven't seen so far as well in Villa, so they didn't have any prep work for other teams to really figure out how the current meta gets played. And I will say, they're looking a lot stronger than any of us predicted.
Yeah,
so well done.
Beastcoast impressing. And it's one of these teams that I know in our power rankings that I think Stokes may have leaked on Twitter or something. We had them pretty low, right? We expressed a lot of concerns about this team, as is expected for a completely fresh look on this team, right? Yeah. New leadership, a ton of new fraggers, a lot of potential, but also a lot of risk. And it seems like, at least through the first 2 days, they have delivered on that aggressive roster promise. They look good, and they look like they're going to be competitive for this stage. DarkZero also look like they may not be in tip-top shape, but they are, well, damn near close. That's going to do it for Pengu and I. We are going to send it back to the analyst desk, but before we do that, a quick break, so stick around, and we will be right back.
All right, we are back at the NAL, and man, that round went the distance, didn't it? And guess what? We've got Canadian with us all the way from Vegas to talk about that one. Canadian, can you hear me, man?
Yes, sir.
All right. Hey, welcome back, and congrats again for another win this week. So my question to you then is, we talked a little bit yesterday, if I remember correctly, about how, it was to kind of like put this team together, start to firm things up a little bit in a squad sort of way. And then today, you had to go to the very, very last round. So rather than asking about your team, I'm actually going to say, what was it about Beastcoast that really pushed the team to the limit today?
I think they were just on point individually, Sweater especially. He was getting a lot of opening picks, just taking initial fights and whatnot, and then in some late rounds too, just shutting us down from, just shooting, basically. I think that was about it. I mean, that's kind of their play style. They don't really have a strategy, to be honest. That's just the case. They have players that can shoot, and so be it. But yeah, I mean, that's part of the reason I heavily criticize someone like Yardy, because he's a quote-unquote hard sport player on a team like that, but they play with no structure, so yeah.
Wow. All right.
I mean, I do kind of see that philosophy. I think if you want to expand on it a little bit, you can. Other than calling it ranked, it very much feels like their roams are super flexible. Sometimes they're a little bit like all over the place seemingly, but what's the best counter for something like that? If they're doing what they're doing, it seemed like you corralled them, but it took a couple of rounds to figure it out. So what was the strat behind that?
I think the big thing is taking our time and making sure that we can pinch kills together and be able to trade them out at least, if not just guarantee the kill, because they're surrounded from too many angles. So I think just taking the fight one-on-one is a big mistake when teams are playing like that, and we kind of made that mistake a few times. I think we realized it a bit more towards the end. Our attacks were picking up and getting cleaner and cleaner. But yeah, I think that was the main thing. I'd say more than anything though, like a lot of the rounds were to ourselves. Like we lost some like crucial late round things and just some very early round misplays that were pretty crucial. I think it was just being undisciplined and not taking our time and working things together.
And well, you talked about how Beastcoast had limited strategy. You guys went living twice. Was that pretty much an exploitation of the fact that you knew that Beastcoast probably wasn't going to be ready for that one, or what?
Yeah, meatheads don't really know how to attack it, so.
Well, there you go. But they've got the, if we don't know what we're doing, they can't know either, I suppose. You've got that going for you. Or they've got that going for them anyway. But last question for you. So you had a very convincing win yesterday. Today was very, very close. A lot of people like to make power rankings these days, right? It's the hot thing. But I'm curious, in the NAL power rankings, where would you put DZ right now?
I mean, I put us at #1. I think we can beat any team. So
nice.
That's the case. Obviously, we're not in first place or anything right now. Thanks to liking to make things close. I think that's just. I think it's been a history of this team as well as just teams I've been on. I think every single team I've been on, maybe we've been at the top of our region or even top of the world and whatnot, but we always make games close no matter who we're playing against for whatever reason. It's just how it goes. So, yeah.
All right, I like that, because a lot of players out there in different games will be like, oh, well, I'm not going to put myself at #1. That's like, too much. But you did it, and I respect that. I feel like that's the attitude it takes to win. So thanks again for sitting in on the interview. Again, congratulations on your win today, and good luck in the future.
Thank you for having me on again. Have a good one.
All right. Thanks. You too. So that was Canadian, friendly, effective, devastating.
Well,
in a very close way versus Beastcoast today.
I do enjoy hearing
friendly to
on
us.
Beastcoast every once in a while.
Yeah, I was going to say friendly to us, not
No, for sure, yeah. Like, it just goes to show you do not want to get on his bad side for any reason.
I guess not, yeah.
Say Canadians isms. He just said meathead, right? And he also says, like, he calls people a mailbox. Canadian is a funny dude. I talk how funny Drip is, but he's pretty funny too. And those stats ain't nothing funny about that. I will say, Canadian, I want to highlight this. He played a lot of Jackal, a lot of Twitch, and he talked about how it was a mistake maybe trying to clear Sweater on those roams 1v1, because that's literally what he was doing, is come in, trying to 1v1 those guys with these nice guns,
Oh, for sure, yeah.
Gun, whatever. And Sweater was still just kind of working them. Look at the stats for Sweater. They had a duel really. Sweater versus DZ early round. Canadian tried his best to deal with it and only went 1 for 3, but had 14 kills overall either way.
Yeah, it felt like in every time there was Sweater on defense, there was always an opening engagement, whether he was winning it or he was losing it. If it's crazy deep roam, he's usually the guy who's going to strike first, or at least attempt to strike first, whether it's, you know, finding somebody who he knows very clearly is droning or taking that initial fight. And that point is exactly correct. I think in order to shut down Beastcoast, you shut down that initial roam presence, because sometimes I think when Canadian called it unstructured, it's very much like, as soon as you shut down one portion of it, it means that not only can they not rotate back to the bomb site, but you're leaving so few components left on site for everyone else to deal with. So he's got it down. Like, you kill the roamers, that's kind of the one thing they really have going for them. And not in quite the same way as Zexed does, but that's the one thing they really have dialed in.
What I saw, Sweater on Cade on top red.
Yeah.
One of the rounds they actually dealt with him. This dude, I mean, what I just said, Sweater is on Cade on top red. That's roaming Cade. They had a pinch coming from the top, and then NJR kind of high-loaded him. He came in from bottom red and dealt with them. So I guess that's one way of dealing with it if you're struggling with a Sweater who just loves to instigate. Like yesterday, what is it, 4 for 4 on entry engagements, 8 entry fights. Today he had 7. That guy just loves to pick fights. I mean, he's just fighting everybody in the club, I guess.
You don't want too much of a reliance on him getting those frags, but yeah, still. I see what your point.
True enough. All right, well, let's take a look at some specific moments from that map. Let's look at round 6 specifically. And this was more of a defensive effort from DarkZero, and this was a tough one. We talked about this a little bit, Cookies, while we were watching the game. What was it about this one? What made this round special?
This is one of those meathead moments he was talking about.
Ah, yes. Okay.
Don't make me laugh right now. Okay. Okay, so the meatheads here, I guess, are attacking from this time. They tried attacking from the north side. We're going to talk about the other living round too, spoiler. But this time they tried attacking from the north, and the problem with this is the floor holes above them are all pointed towards the north side push that Beastcoast is going here. So it's like Beastcoast literally played right into the strat perfectly. That's kind of why Canadian called him what he called him. And they did not try to clear above at all. Jacob, look at this. Look at Eclipse. Just laying here like a worm.
That hatch angle from there is also pretty nasty too.
Yeah, it's just like this was dead on arrival pretty much.
Oh, me? It's me? Oh, I see you did that. Yeah.
Hello, dead on arrival.
Okay,
How are you?
Yeah. It's true. It's true. All right.
No, for sure. Like, part of what he's talking about is you need the top floor clear, otherwise this is it's dead in its tracks. Like, before you can even get started, you might be able to push into site proper, but the whole intention is you still have players up top who are going to hold those top, the holes in vault floor, and then if those guys get killed, then you come back to the site to make sure that you at least have some kind of horizontal presence there. But the vertical was still in play, and Beastcoast didn't nullify that, which is kind of a requirement when you're working over library, because once you've got top control, it makes it way easier to attack the damn thing.
Well, that said, it did go all the way to the final round. So, you know, meatheads or not, they were certainly effective in pushing DarkZero to the limit. Let's take a look at that final round when it really, you know, then that I felt like that round was one of the most one-sided ones for DarkZero. But let's check it out anyway, because it was the final one in OT. It was pretty exciting stuff either way.
Okay, so the meat has tenderized a little bit. They have actually decided to push in to the top floor this time, and this is what happens. DZ's ready for that too. They have this shield in top study stairs here, facing towards study, which is naturally where you would like to start this clear from. If you try to come like from master side, it'd be pretty time consuming. Yeah, Pamba just absolutely obliterates these guys. Just a 3K. He had help from a teammate, but a 3K there for DarkZero, and they just, even though Beastcoast tried the quote-unquote intelligent thing to do, they still ran into a brick wall because they just, quite frankly, they weren't necessarily equipped to attack. This is the polite way of saying it. They weren't necessarily equipped to attack this site, and DarkZero abused that. Yeah. Got them 2 key rounds here, and it was a difference in a 7-7 game, I would say.
I feel like Library is one of those sites that if you're playing against a higher caliber opponent, for example, if DarkZero playing TSM, that's a much different story for how you're meant to do it, but you can play into a default strategy like this against Beastcoast on Library, and it's met with like different results. Again, if Pamba doesn't do what he does on top red and can find that 3K, or we may be looking at a different scenario if he's not killed early, but he wasn't. He stood resolute, and he actually wasn't that good today as he was yesterday. It took him a long time to get going, but he was the hero where it mattered for DarkZero, and it still secures him a victory today.
You know, to me, looking at it go that close, looking at the stylistic differences we saw between our two teams, to me it's just a little bit of Miyagi-Do on the DarkZero side and Cobra Kai on the Beastcoast side. You know, two entertaining styles.
Reference.
And when they clash, It's a beautiful thing. That's right. And
Yeah.
it's always close, too. It's always close. And in the end, they become friends anyway. So, you know, stay tuned to the end of the season. Who knows what's going to happen?
True.
Could be a Goku Vegeta kind of team up.
No,
thing.
no spoilers if you haven't seen it, obviously.
Yeah, that's right. Well, I'm saying, yeah, well, if you haven't seen season 1,